This entire second level is basically just to teach you about mechanics that I already showed you in the very first level. Something you might have noticed is that we could have seen the start of this stage from the end of the first one, and that's a common theme. When you perform a critical turn, it knocks down enemies next to you, or at least knocks them back. It doesn't do any damage to them, but it stuns them long enough for you to grab them as well. As was discussed, Wrath fills up your Muso meter, and the Muso meter is my preferred way to take out bosses and stronger enemies. It also refills fairly fast. If you're having a lot of trouble, you can cheese almost every fight in this game by just critical turning so many zombies that your Muso meter refills. This is similar to the strategy in Dynasty Warriors where you get yourself near dead and then just run around until your Muso meter fills up on its own. When ordering zombies to attack a structure, I like to stand as close to it as possible, because that's usually as far away from enemy soldiers as possible, so they have a harder time breaking out of your command. There are a lot of things in the environment that we don't need to destroy. For example, there are archer blinds right here in this room that we don't need to destroy, but if we do, we get a lot of souls, which is our points, I guess. And the more souls we get, the more experience we get at the end of the level. Now, I'm not concerned about experience because I have plenty of that, and I've bought almost all the upgrades. There are 5 upgrades that I left alone so I could show them to you across the course of this playthrough, but I already have enough experience for that as well. Still, these blinds give you 1,000 souls, which is a lot. And if you're playing through this game the first time, you're going to want to grind. I'm not even joking, you're going to want to grind. This game gets really hard if you try to bust through it without ever leveling up your character. I assume the upgrades were added mainly to increase the playtime because this game is kind of short, around 5 hours for your first playthrough. I suppose you could force your way through with sheer elbow grease if you really wanted to, but then the game would end up taking way longer than if you just grinded in the first place. The archers are thankfully some of the weakest enemies in the game. Now, I didn't talk a lot about our Muso attack, but the final hit of our Muso attack, almost no regular enemy can withstand that, and it deals massive damage to big enemies as well, with or without them being stunned. That said, having them stunned is preferred. There's a little objective that appears at the very bottom of the screen every time you enter a new room, just in case you're not sure what you should be doing. That may seem kinda silly, but it's really helpful to know what you're aiming for. You don't want to waste your time trying to kill every enemy if that won't do anything. These guys with lances are a new type of enemy that we're not going to talk about yet because we can just walk right past them. We have a move that lets us flip enemies in the air to make them vulnerable, but I don't use this a lot because incapacitating enemies with zombies is a lot faster.